Welcome to the notes on reasoning and proofs. Okay, this is a little introduction into those. The first thing we're going to take a look at here are these properties. Extremely important. They're all right here. We're going to go through them real quick. Make sure you know these. So these are the algebra properties of equality. Okay, and a lot of these have to do with equations. So A, B, and C are real numbers. If we have the addition property, all right, the addition property, if A equals B, and if we add C to each side, we call that the addition property, just like an equation. If you add one number to both sides, the equation is still balanced. Why that is? It's the addition property. Then we've got the subtraction property. Same thing. If A equals B, if I subtract C from both sides, they're still equal. That's the subtraction property. Multiplication, all right, and then obviously we have division. Same thing. A and B equal to each other. If you multiply each side by C, or if you divide each side by the same value, they're still going to be the same. So properties are pretty self-explanatory. Here are some that you might not have heard of. The reflexive property. Okay, we'll use that a ton. If A equals A, something equals itself, call that the reflexive property. Symmetric property, if A equals B, then B equals A, where you can flip sides of the equation. We've done that. Now we have a name with that. All right, then the transitive, true transitive property. If A equals B, all right, so A equals B, and B also equals C, well, then A equals C. That's what we're saying right there, okay? A is equal to B, B is equal to C, well, then A and C must be equal. And then finally, we got the substitution property. We just know that if A equals B, then B can be replaced in any expression with A. We've done that a ton. Don't forget about the distributive property, all right? You guys are very familiar with that. Now that we know these properties, here's how we're going to use them, all right? We're going to use this, it's an introduction to reasoning and proofs. Now we're going to prove why we can do things. So they're going to give you an equation just like this, all right? And your proof always starts with the given as your reason. And then you're going to have to fill in the reason. So how do we get from 11x plus 14 equals 80 to just 11x equals 66? Well, you can tell, what did they do? There's no more plus 14. Well, they subtracted 14 from each side. So which property do we use? Well, we're going to write over here, subtraction property. And I'll just put PROP. And then sometimes they're going to add of equality. All right, that'll be one of the choices when you are doing the MyMathLab. And then how do they get from 11x equals 66 to x equals 6? Which property did we do? Well, you can see that they must have divided by 11. So then our reasoning here, we're just simply going to say division property. And then obviously of equality, you guys kind of know how to fill that in. But now we're just going to defend the reasonings on how we can say things are true when we solve equations. One more example, a little bit longer. Again, we got 3x plus 6 equals negative 2x plus 31. That's our given. How do we get from there to the second line of 5x plus 6 equals 31? Well, it looks like they must have moved this plus 2x. They added 2x to each side. So, hey, there's our addition property. And then remember, sometimes they'll put of equality, okay? Now we go from 5x plus 6 equals 31 to 5x equals 25. Well, what happened to that plus 6? They must have subtracted it from each side. So that's what we're going to put right here, subtraction property. And then finally, how do we go from 5x equals 25 to x equals 5? Well, since they obviously divided each side by 5, well, this must have been then the division property. And I'm going to even write that of equality, just so you guys, property of equality, just so you get used to seeing it there. So this lesson, simply defending our reasons, which property are we using to say that, how to solve equations, all right? That introduction to reasoning and proofs, that is it for our lesson today.